Welcome back to North State Health, the North State's first local health program.
Our guest today is Dr. Ray Powell from Physicians Plan Weight Management. We are talking about weight management success stories. Now, we talked about Jan in the last segment, a very inspiring story. We caught up with another one of your patients who graciously gave us permission to share her story. So let's talk about Charlene.
Charlene is, again, an amazing woman. She's a mom. She works full-time. She started out with us with some major medical issues on probably 5 or 6 different medications. And she really has done an amazing job at just changing her lifestyle, making sure she's eating. She was a big sweet tooth, major chocoholic, and we really got her into a mode of just eating better quality nutrition through the day while she's working. And you can see she's in the medical field, and she just blossomed where she's dropped, got a good 20% of her weight, which is an 80% reduction in risk according to the National Institute of Health for medical conditions. So we've got a great video that says it all for her. And here it is.
Well, when I was 12 years old, I had gained a lot of weight, and I was obviously the tallest girl in class. And I had always had a struggle with the weight. I couldn't keep it off. Sometimes I was comfortable. I tried Weight Watchers, it came off, but then the minute I stopped it, it came back on. I tried to deprive myself, you know, to eat lesser, not to have the candy, but because I wasn't eating properly, I would crave it and I would binge eat afterwards because I was trying not to feed myself, and it made it worse. And with Dr. Powell's diet, it's not a diet for me, it's a life change. I learned how to eat from him and what to eat and what combinations to eat. I had just called and I said, I'm done being fat. Could you please help me? Because I gained so much weight that I was up to 258. And I had 2 babies, and I could barely do anything with them. I could barely go to work without having to hurt my body or, you know, and obviously in the pictures I look horrible. And I just went to Dr. Powell, and he is so encouraging on everything that I just lost a ton of weight right away, and it just kept coming off and coming off and coming off, and everything that you get to eat is so good. It's just, and I'm a chocoholic. That was my biggest thing, was candy. I loved it. And I just replaced it with the protein bars that he suggested, and that's what I crave now instead of candy. I haven't had a piece of candy in almost over a year. And I know that when I looked in the mirror before, you have this perception of yourself that you believe that you're thin, and you look at yourself for real and you don't see that person. That's quite a shock. Dr. Powell opened my eyes to that. He took that picture, which is the worst picture in the free world for me, but people need to see it. I weighed 258 pounds. It was unbelievable. And I was right around the corner from being bedridden to me, you know, and heart problems. And now he's gotten me off 5 out of the 7 medications that I was on because doctors kept throwing medications at me, from the heart pills to the antacid pills. Well, you lose the weight, guess what? All the problems go away.
Well, it's always good to hear those stories from your patients and see the quality of life difference that they have. So talk about, you know, how you got Charlene to that point.
Right, it's really sitting down with them one-on-one and looking at what they're doing right and wrong, and then coming up with different plans. They can't lose all this weight just doing it one way. So we go through a series of different adjustments with their nutrition and even their calorie amounts, but the key is they've got to eat. And, you know, we measure a lot of measurements on them. We look at their body fat percentage, but also her waist measurement. And waist measurement we're looking at, and she's gone from well over 40 inches at the waist down below 35. And 35 inches or less measured at the belly button really reduces your risk for all the major metabolic diseases, which she said in her video, by coming off all those medication.
Okay, and so people can do that at your practice. They would come in and have those measurements.
Exactly, we do it
They
periodically.
could do at home?
They can. They can just take a tape measure and just at a normal breath, just measure right from the belly button around. And if women are 35 inches or greater, men 40 inches or greater, puts them at a very high risk for metabolic diseases.
All right, so definitely good numbers to remember there, Dr. Powell. We are going to talk about more patient success stories, very inspiring, on North State Health when we come back after just a 1-minute break.
Hi, I'm Hank Aaron. After playing in the major leagues for over 20 years, I've developed arthritis in my knees, a painful condition that affects more than 10 million Americans. I've dealt with aches and pains in my career, but this knee pain really made it difficult to do the things I love. After being active for so long, it was embarrassing. I talked with my doctor, And I want you to join me in the fight against arthritis at teamhank.com.
Howdy, partners. We're Billy and Patrick for Ray and Kia. Hey, where's Patrick?
Here I am, up here.
What are you doing up on that horse?
Didn't you say folks can wrangle up some big savings and get a lot of horsepower right now at Redding Kia?
Yeah, but I meant this kind of horsepower. Like a 2013 Optima, 0% for 60 months, and a 2014 Kia Sorento, 0.9% for 60 months.
How do you get down from one of these things? Whoa, 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 whoa!
Well, that's one way.
I've never been able to maintain weight loss. I've lost hundreds of pounds in the past, only to wake up 6 months later and to have regained all the weight and more. I started out with Physician's Plan at 318 pounds. I was wearing a size 32 and busting out of that, and now I'm happy to say that I'm in a size 6, and I've been maintaining that size for 2 years. If it hadn't been for the support and expertise of the Physician's Plan staff and Dr. Powell, I don't think I would have been as successful.
I have bipolar disorder. Hey, I'm Mark Coleman, and I do have bipolar disorder. But why do I have to whisper it? I could say I have cancer or diabetes or any other illness, and it doesn't require a whisper. Bipolar requires a whisper because it carries a stigma. And that stigma stops people from getting help. But I have good news for you. This year, the National Bipolar Foundation has been formed. Visit our website at nationalbipolarfoundation.org. We have a hope.
Welcome back. We are here with Dr. Ray Powell from Physicians Plan Weight Management. We are talking about patient success stories.
Right.
So if you need a little bit of inspiration to get yourself to get that weight managed in check, these patients will do it. So let's talk a little bit about Debra, who life catches up to you, huh?
Exactly. Debra is a sweet lady. She is a grandmother who is raising her 2 grand boys who are twins. And she stopped working to take care of them, and she just gained a tremendous amount of weight. And it was a real challenge for her because she became very emotional in this testimonial because she was doing a lot of Boy Scouts with them, and she went to do a swimming test with them, and she couldn't pass the test. And so she couldn't swim that summer with them with the Boy Scouts, and it was really devastating to her, and she felt very, very at ease about the fact that her kids were going to be embarrassed about her. And so this next testimonial we have just says it all. She's an awesome woman.
All right.
When I couldn't work, I gained a lot of weight. I mean, a really lot of weight. And one year, we went to our Boy Scout camp, and I couldn't swim with them. And my oldest daughter was on this program, so I decided it was time for me to lose weight so I could swim with my boys and do things with them. I'm so happy that my daughter told me to come here. These people have been wonderful. I can call them up, I can drop in, they're there. Biggest change in my life since I've been Dr. Powell, I'm happy. I can do things. I can eat in public without thinking somebody's looking at me like, wow, she really needs to put that in her face, you know, and not so bad. I can go places with my boys and know they're proud of me. Even though God bless their heart, they never told me they weren't proud of me before. They let me just the way I was, whether I was fat or skinny. But I'm healthy and skinny. I think they like it a little bit better. If I was to sum it all up, from the day I walked in to right now, the favorite thing I liked about Dr. Powell and his staff is no matter what, we're all equal. He's there for me. I have any questions, it's not too little a question. Maybe it's not even a question that involves a diet. He's gonna take the time to talk to me and help me through it. That's what I like about Dr. Powell, is he is, to me, he's a person that's my friend.
Well, Debra does not look like a grandmother, I don't think.
And she's done amazing. It's given her so much more energy. Her grandboys were actually with her there, and they were just so proud of her. And you know, she's a patient out of the Red Bluff office, and it's amazing what it's done for her life, and just giving her back her life is really what it did. And we really emphasize to him, and I think that's what she comes across with, is that She comes into us every week and weighs in, and we see these patients literally every month, sometimes even every week. And so we get a really, really good rapport. We really get to know the patient, all of their trials and tribulations, and there's good days and bad days, and we're there for them.
Like you said, you get to know these patients. Do you take a different approach with each patient? Because I mean, I'm sure there are some that come in that you really need to be a little bit more heavy-handed, and that's how they get results.
There's a fine line. I mean, everybody has different knowledge bases, and it's one where we never assume that people know everything. And some of them come in that way. They think that they know it all. And if they did, then why are they coming into me? And we have to sometimes get in their face and say, okay, whatever it is you're doing isn't working. So we've got to do something different. We have to teach them how to lose weight, or what I call burn energy first, and in the process of doing that, teach them how to keep it off.
Well, that's
and it's a challenge sometimes.
Well, with Deborah, I think what everybody out there can take away from this, I think, is great. The motivation to lose weight and get your weight in check is the fact that she said she's happy again. So that's the #1 thing that I think is great.
Oh yeah.
Well, we have another success story you're not going to want to miss. We're going to talk about Jennifer when we come back. So just a 1-minute break, so stay with us.